I'm going to wing it here with the fucking poster.
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to the AfterMatch Breakdown. I am your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined for the first time by Vigo the Carpathian. How you doing, Vigo? No, he's not much for words. However, I do have 3 live guests here via Skype. I've got 3 of the 4 NX Team 4 Horsemen. We've got the Holiday Chris Mace. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good.
We've got the Cleaver Colin Andrew. How you doing, Colin?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
And the Birdman of Boston, Owen Finch, down here in the corner. How you doing, Owen?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am great, but we are a week away from WrestleMania, and I am fucking worried that I'm going to be sitting in my chair watching a show for 8 fucking hours.
Yep.
And the reason I have called a meeting here, I don't know what to call it, the
gathering of the
gathering. The reason I've called a meeting here and put together a show is because we are going to take said WrestleMania 35 card and we're going to break it down and we are going to tear it down and we're going to make it 10 matches or less. And that includes the pre-show. So let's say 2 matches for an hour-long pre-show and 8 matches for a 4-hour-long WrestleMania. And that's it. So, who wants to go first? Or should we break down the matches?
Let's break down the matches first, and then we'll go from there.
All right, what we've got already, let's start from the top down because we know what the main event is going to be. Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship, possibly for the SmackDown Women's Championship. If not, I don't understand why they did what they did.
Yeah.
Then we've got Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship. We've got Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. We've got Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, Triple H versus Batista, Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. We've got Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. We've got a Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Let's see if I get all these right. We've got Bayley and Sasha Banks. We've got Beth Phoenix and Natalya. We've got Nia Jax and Tamina, and we've got the Iconics from SmackDown. That's Peyton Royce and Billie Kay.
Yes.
Man, it's tough. I've got a terrible memory with names.
That's a lot.
The rest are written down. We've got The Miz versus Shane McMahon in a Falls Count Anywhere match. We've got Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin in Angle's final match. We've got Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. We've got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, 30 men. We've got the WWE WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, 30 women. And then possibly the Raw Tag Team Championships being defended and the SmackDown Tag Team Championships being defended. That brings us to 16 matches, 14 if you're only counting the ones that have officially been announced. And that is way too much. So,
Actually.
Let's get rid of 4 or 6 matches here. I'm going to start with Colin.
All right. Number 1 off my list: Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Peace. Because The Miz deserves more. Number 1, he could be. He's not in the title picture, but he could be in a big card title picture for the Intercontinental title or U.S. title in a multi-man match, and that's where Shane McMahon screws him over, and that follows them into another pay-per-view after. It's not WrestleMania worthy. Sorry, let's see here. I would, same with Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe. I don't see any freaking build to this at all. Like, okay, Mysterio randomly brings back Dominic, who's like, 6'4" now. Like, when that kid gets so big, like, I just don't understand it. There's no, there's no point to this match, like, at all. And the U.S. title deserves more because of the championship at WrestleMania. I don't know, maybe do a multi-man match, try to fill in, or maybe, just maybe, have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal be for either the Intercontinental or U.S. Championship and actually have it mean something for once, since it hasn't meant shit since Cesaro won it in the first place.
Nice.
Why not? All right, what else am I scratching from this card here? Triple H and Batista.
Gone.
Bye.
Easy.
Bye. I don't give a flying fuck. Like, why do you have to do this? Hunter, step the fuck back, okay? You have NXT, you have your position. We don't need you. We can have a WrestleMania without John Cena, The Undertaker, and Triple H. It's possible. It'd be damn good. Oh, throw Brock Lesnar on that list too, because fuck Brock Lesnar. That's a match I would scratch too. Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, because I would not have Brock Lesnar as the WWE Universal Champion. So that's another match I would scratch, and I would replace the Drew McIntyre match with Roman Reigns. We're talking fantasy booking here, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you want to do. Make this a WrestleMania worth watching.
In a perfect world, heel Reigns, face Rollins, Universal title. Oh, that's where I would do.
Nice.
Or flip it. It'd work either way, because those two work well together.
Since we have established fantasy booking here, are you going to do anything at all about Angle versus Baron Corbin?
Yeah, I haven't got that. I haven't got that far yet. I got to save the best for last. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, please continue then. I want to go.
Let's see. So, regarding the women's division here, it's a shame where Asuka is. She is in the women's battle royal for no fucking reason. So Charlotte Flair could have her cake and eat it too, I guess.
Yeah.
The SmackDown Women's Championship, I would have it defended probably in the Battle Royal or something like that, along the same lines, because you want to try to, the focus is to get as many people on the show as possible, but not have it run forever.
Right.
And I believe every championship should be up for grabs.
Okay.
That, or do like the winner of the women's Memorial Battle Royal or whatever wins a number one contenders match and can cash it in that night, and it's just a squash. So it's like technically a 10th or 11th match, but it's only like 4 minutes, including entrances. You know what I mean? Just straight wash.
Judges? All right, we'll allow it. We'll allow an 11th squash match. If it's under a minute, we'll allow 11th match. We'll make that a rule, official.
So Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. I would change it. I brought it up on, what was it? The last Tea Party for episode 35 of UK, or the Rated R Report that night. But I brought up the bring back Team Angle and do a triple threat elimination.
With Baron, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre? Because you've already freed up Drew McIntyre.
I mean, we could do that, but I'm talking about just scrapping Corbin off the card altogether, bro.
Okay, so who would you have him face?
Each other. It's a triple threat elimination.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. So it'd be like Shelton versus Charlie versus Kurt. That, or you can bring back John Cena, because John Cena, his first match was against Kurt Angle, and Cena could carry Angle because he needs someone that knows what he's doing in there, because he's not just a fragile young Olympian with a broken freaking neck anymore. He's an old man with a broken fucking body. Yeah. I'd probably lean more towards Cena because it's more realistic. I mean, we do have Shelton Benjamin in the WWE, but getting Charlie Haas back, I don't really see it happening. He was a real big laughing joke when he left the company. So,
well, who can carry Kurt Angle through a match? I think John Cena could.
Yeah,
Because in the state we've seen Kurt Angle wrestle in over the last few weeks, he doesn't carry his own weight in a match.
No, he's not.
And we're talking physically here, just strength and the ability to be the other half of these moves. Like, it's not just a guy picks a guy up. The other guy shoots himself off the ground, does sort of a front flip to help him get a motherfucker in the air. It's a dance, not a fight. I think John Cena can pick up Kurt Angle. You know, he can pick up Kurt Angle and put him in a suplex, or pick up Kurt Angle and put him in the FU or the AA, whatever you want to call it. But could Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin carry Kurt Angle through a match?
I think Shelton could, but honestly, I don't know when the last time I've honestly seen anything on Charlie Haas, so I don't know. All right, so I'd keep the Kofi versus Daniel Bryan, but I would try to add some type of stipulation. You know, like a special referee, like we know someone that's going to be like par equal, like Steve Austin, or you know, someone along those lines, like an established veteran that we know isn't going to play fair to either side. But if we could book a fantasy ending real quick, it'd be, you know, Xavier Woods and Big E Langston down at ringside. The next thing you know, Big E blindside Xavier Woods. Kofi looks like, what the hell happens? Boom. Running knee to the face. 1, 2, 3. And then Big E is your new Rowan lackey to Daniel Bryan. Or something like that. That'd be pretty dope.
Oh, man. I can't believe you're booking Daniel Bryan to lose. Or not Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston to lose. How could you do it? How could you do it, man?
I don't want to do it, but I'm ready to see New Day break up, bro.
Okay, so let that happen out of jealousy once Kofi does get the title. I mean, I know that storyline's played out and shit, but
I know.
We're this close.
That bad juju on Ricky Bobby.
I mean, I've spent enough time on the internet. I'm tired of people asking the same stupid question. You know, why isn't there a 100% black champion for WWE?
Yeah, so just
other than the world title.
Yeah, I guess. Then attack his ass afterwards or something. I don't know. What?
Something. They got to get the title on Kofi. They're this close.
Yeah.
And it's going to be such a special moment if they do it.
Yeah, it will be. But it'd be like an oh shit, like you just screwed your boy. You know.
So you got rid of The Miz and Shane. Is there anything that you're going to do with The Miz?
I'd probably, honestly, like, okay, so I would have either the Intercontinental or the U.S. defended in the Andre. So I'd probably do the U.S. in that. And then I'd have a multi-man Intercontinental title match. And The Miz would be in that. It'd be multi-branded.
Ladder match.
It'd be multi-branded because the Battle Royal is multi-branded. So whatever, you know, the outcome would be one person from one show and the other person from the other show. And that's a good way you can get someone to switch shows. But I would put The Miz, Finn Balor. I wouldn't have Bobby Lashley holding the title going into it. He can just go into Dre because who cares about Bobby Lash? Number 4 will be Drew McIntyre. 5, Samoa Joe. Well, no, because he's U.S. champion right now. But I could change that. Let's see. Who's number 5? I just drew a blank, guys. My bad.
It's cool. You got The Miz in there, right?
Yeah. So it's Miz.
Is this going to be a ladder match, or is this just a multi-man?
Yeah, it's a ladder match.
Nice.
So we got Miz, Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre. Shit. I'd put Aleister Black in there because I think he could do some cool stuff. We'll save Ricochet for something else. I got something else planned for him, though. I would bring Bray Wyatt into the multi-man match for the Intercontinental title. I know he's probably not the best man for a ladder match, but he can do some damage with a ladder in the long run.
Would he be a surprise entrance, or would you announce him?
I wouldn't surprise him. I'd have it like a last entrant deal, because normally they're like a 7th entrance, and have someone like Shelton Benjamin in there as a filler, and someone like takes him out beforehand, and next thing you know, the lights turn on and you hear doo, 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 and it's Bray's theme, and bada bing, bada boom. So that would be number 7. So my number 6 person would be Mustafa Ali, or Ali.
Ali.
Nice.
Whatever.
No, they're going to go back to Mustafa Ali. Somebody made a really good point. I think it was on Wrestle Talk. If you Google Ali, you're not going to get a picture of Mustafa Ali. If you Google Mustafa Ali, you're going to get a picture of him and a bunch of articles about him, probably with WWE.com on there.
I will refer to him as Mustafa Ali forever, because here in Cleveland we have the Quicken Loans Arena. It used to be called the Gund Arena, and it'll always be called that, just like their Progressive Field now. It used to be Jacobs Field. It will always be the Jake. You know what I mean? Like, that's like them trying to rename Fenway, Owen. It's not going to work, okay?
I wouldn't compare Mustafa Ali to Fenway Park.
I'm not, but I'm trying to put something in comparison that's going to strike home to that young man right there. But, so, okay. Cruiserweight match. I would take Tony Nese out and replace him with Ricochet.
Okay.
Boom. So we have women's match. I'm going to keep that same. I'm going to keep that the same. So let's forget this.
You mean the women's tag match or the women's battle royal? Or the main event?
Main event.
Okay.
Main event. I keep, honestly, the Fatal 4-Way, I'm not the happiest about. I mean, I like Beth Phoenix, don't get me wrong. But it's just like, why?
Yeah, why?
Why? Like, why can't we get a team from NXT up in this bitch? Like, oh God, what's her name? Kairi Sane and
Io Shirai.
Yeah. Like, why can't we get, a SmackDown team?
As I said, the most credible NXT women's tag team there is right now.
A SmackDown team, a Raw team, and an NXT team versus a current champ team. Why can't we get, bring, okay, we got Bayley and Sasha from Raw. So let's bring the Iconics from SmackDown. Let's bring in Shirai and Zayn over from NXT. And then let's bring, who can we bring, pair up from NXT UK? Have them all 4 brands in one match. Rhea Ripley
and Jenny.
Yeah.
Brookside and Candy Floss.
Well, they're not going to win them. So
Real here.
I want that tag team so bad.
Well, that needs to happen. It really does. They look very similar to each other, just different colors.
Blue ass hair and stuff.
Yeah.
So does that complete your card?
Basically, it would just consist of every championship match. I haven't even got to the tag titles. So basically, let's see. We have the 2 main heavyweights, the Dre, which is going to be the U.S., the ladder match, which is 4, women's tag team match, women's title match, women's battle royal, cruiserweight match, and then we had Angle versus Cena for 9, and then number 10 was oh man.
Was it the trip? Did you say the triple threat already?
Yeah.
Stefan Bowman?
Yeah, that was part. Yeah, that was the 2 main titles.
Okay, that was the main titles.
Yeah, so it was 2 main titles: U.S. Intercontinental, women's tag.
So you've got room for
Battle Royal, cruiserweight, Kurt Angle versus Cena, and then we have one more.
Yeah, so you've got room for 1 tag title match and 1 squash match.
So I don't know. Honestly, I think since we have the Andre Battle Royal, a lot of people go on that. I would just do like a SmackDown Tag Team Championship, like the Usos versus the Revival.
There you
Like
go.
there's no titles on the line, but they're champion versus champion matches.
I'd put the titles on the line.
And unify them.
Fucking yeah.
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 At this rate, okay, if you think about the last 3 years of the brand split and the tag team divisions on Raw and SmackDown, anytime Raw has had a good tag team division, SmackDown has suffered. Anytime SmackDown has had a good tag team division, Raw has suffered. So just combine them. Might as well.
Now, I actually just got a better idea. Fatal 4-Way, do the same similarity. Fatal 4-Way, NXT UK Tag Team Champions. James Drake and Zach Gibson versus War Raiders, NXT Tag Team Champions.
Well, maybe take out the Black if they win.
So just an exhibition match then.
Yeah, just an exhibition match, all 4 brands tag team champions versus each other, elimination style.
That'd be awesome.
That would be a good match, even though the titles wouldn't be on the line. But the
no
title
titles on the
holders.
line, but they bring the belts with them. They all, I have the belts, I got the belts.
So with this logic, you would think that Pete Dunne or Walter, whoever comes out as UK champ, should be in the Andre Battle Royal at least, and so should the NXT champion Adam Cole
in the women's Battle Royal. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if you're a champion, I'm just like, yeah, the NXT has their takeover, but it's WrestleMania. It's a totally different deal. Not everyone's gonna tune in on a Friday night at 8 o'clock and watch it, but everyone's gonna watch WrestleMania. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. So do you want to put a squash match in there, or are you good?
All right, so if it was like a number 1 contender match and Asuka was still champion, let's see. I would do a squash match, but I would just I'd do a shock if Rhea Ripley was not in that women's Fatal 4-Way tag match. If she was like not part of that contendership or something, I would have her win the NXT and have her win the Memorial Battle Royal or that number 1 contender slot, and her just wipe Asuka like that to establish herself and win that SmackDown Women's Championship, and that's how she gets brought up to the main roster.
Poor Asuka. That's all I have to say.
Or whoever's champion. It could be Sonya Deville. It could be whoever's champion.
Well, you don't have to have a squash match. We kind of put that in there because you asked.
Yeah, I was just trying to, we didn't really talk guidelines when we did this, so,
Right on. All right, Chris, you want to go next?
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting rid of Lashley versus Finn Balor, getting rid of the U.S. title match, getting rid of the Women's Battle Royal, 'cause we don't need that shit. I'm getting rid of the Universal title match, because I've already seen Lesnar and Seth Rollins back at Battleground. I already know how this same match is probably going to play out. What was the other match that's going to take the fuck out? Oh, fuck Baron Corbin. He can go fucking bye-bye. Fuck him. We'll put Kurt Angle with somebody else in a minute. And so that is 5. I eliminated it. Yeah, it should be 5. So, alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just fucking completely change this fucking card.
Nice.
So we got to do 2 pre-show matches. Alright. People probably won't pop with this. I put the women's tag titles on the pre-show. Have them defend I would go ahead and do a Legends match, but I would straighten it up. I would put somebody like Trish Stratus and Lita in there, let them come out of retirement saying, hey, we were on Evolution, you have these titles. We still believe we got it in us, that we can beat y'all. Start building up a feud there, doing a past and present match, and go from there and let the champs retain in a competitive match. That's what I do in 1 pre-show match. Then the second one I would keep the Andre Giant Battle Royal, because this is what I do differently. I let it be on the pre-show. What I would do differently, the winner of the match would get a title match. Any title he chooses the night after WrestleMania in the main event of Raw, he can come out and choose whatever title he wants to challenge for right then and there.
Okay, hold that thought.
Make the match.
Colin, which 2 matches of your 10 go on the pre-show?
Oh, shit. Let's see. We're gonna go the Dre,
All right.
and we're gonna go both Battle Royals. Pre-show.
I was worried he's
That's
going to put the cruiserweights on the kickoff. 205 live minutes.
No, I wasn't gonna. Did I? No.
No,
Both
you-
Battle Royals. Both Battle
All right.
Royals.
All right.
Then,
Please.
then the first match of the night would be the Cruiserweights.
Ha. Warm up the crowd. Okay, back to you, Chris.
Okay, but I think I would go try to rebuild up the Monster Among Men again and make him more serious again. I just have him destroy everybody in this path. Go ahead and get everybody eliminated, win the match, so he can pick whatever champion he's going to pick the next night as the main event on Raw. Whatever champion he decides to pick, he can challenge him right then and there, and the match has to go right then and there. And then we're going to go to the main show. We're going to start off. But I'm going to do something different with the Cruiserweight match. I'm going to do Buddy Murphy, but I'm going to have it, I wanted to have like a Legends feel to it. Since Rey Mysterio still go, I wanted it to be Buddy Murphy versus Rey Mysterio.
Wow.
And that would be a match that they can put on a classic. Obviously, I'll let Buddy Murphy retain because, like I said, I wanted to be like passing the torch. You have the great Rey Mysterio, who was a great Cruiserweight champion in WCW and WWE. When the Cruiserweight title actually mattered with him holding it and some of the other people that were holding it. Have that go on first, get a hot open to it, and then go from there and let Buddy Murphy retain the title. And then I think I would do next, I would put the, God, what would I do next? Then I would do something with the tag titles. I would do a title unification match with Raw and SmackDown. I put the Usos versus the Revival. Unify those titles, make them like the women's tag team titles where they can go to any show and defend them and do it that way. And I would have the Usos end up winning the match. And that way they could be reunified both belts and they can go to Raw and SmackDown. Any team from Raw and SmackDown can challenge for the tag titles and just do it that way. Just get rid of two sets of belts. Like I said, like we said earlier, when Raw has good tag teams, SmackDown suffers. When SmackDown has good tag team, Raw suffers. So let's just eliminate that.
But what
Have all
belts
the
would
tag
we
teams
bring
beating for one belt.
What'd you say, Colin?
But what belts would we put in place to unify them with?
We would bring back the old school belts from the 90s back. Those belts were badass. I like them.
Look at Stefan, he's so pissed. He's so
I'm not pissed. Personally, I didn't like those. I didn't like them back when they were the belts. I really like the raw ones.
The Raw ones from like 2002 with
the original brand split. Oh, I really like the Raw belts.
Like the ones like 2002.
Yeah, I believe so.
They had like the red globe in the middle of them.
The Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
Raw belts.
SmackDown, but SmackDown had
The SmackDown belts were ugly. The Raw belts
Yeah.
were sweet.
Yeah, those were pretty.
But why not
Yeah.
just take them back to the black straps with the copper plates?
Not the fucking pennies, no.
I
Not Noah's penny. I got one of those upstairs too.
I like them.
No, not the penny.
I thought they were
No,
much
no.
better than the titles previous.
I think maybe with the if you did the silver with the black, it wouldn't look too bad.
That'd be cool. Or even
Yeah.
just gold. Be fine. But I like the
Yeah.
design. I
The
didn't
design's
like the
not bad,
blue
but it's
straps
just
and I don't
that
like the
copper
reds.
It's just the copper. It's like the penny. No,
Okay, whatever. To each their
I'm
own.
a penny hater. I know.
Or bring back whatever title suits you, but whatever you bring back, you're going to want to keep for a while.
Yeah.
So,
I just didn't know if you were thinking of bringing back an older design or a completely new design.
I would say just keep it the same design. Just go back to a black strap with something. Make them polished silver. That would look cool.
I would do something similar to the UK titles. I'd make them round, keep them round.
I like those titles.
The UK titles, do something similar, along those lines.
We've gotten way off topic. Chris,
Sorry.
what about the rest of your card?
Okay, so that would unify the tag titles. Like I said, the Usos would win. They'd unify the tag titles. That would solve that issue with that. So that's match 2. Then I'd go match 3. I'd go ahead and just do the U.S. title. I'd go ahead and put Samoa Joe against Aleister Black. I think they could pull off an awesome match. I think that would be an awesome match. Let's Aleister Black win the title there. That way he go ahead and he's got his first singles title. He can bring some credibility to the U.S. title, have some competitive matches with a lot of the other wrestlers and have some more competitive matches. Like I said, the U.S. title's lost a lot of luster, and like that seemed like that title's cursed. People win it, oh, they're losing everything. Like Samoa Joe, he's got the U.S. title. How many losses has he's had since he's had the title?
Yeah.
He lost to Kurt Angle on Monday. I understand.
At
why,
least
but
he's
he
being
lost to Kurt
used,
Angle on
though.
Monday.
Shinsuke Nakamura had the title for the longest time, and he just was never on TV to get beat
Yeah,
or win.
exactly.
So,
Right.
at least he's on the show.
Right. So that's what I do there. I put Aleister Black over, let him become the new U.S. champion. Then I would go. That was match 3, and then 4. I would go with the. Go ahead and do the Intercontinental title match, but I would do something a little bit different. Okay, so I have Finn Balor be the Intercontinental champion. You know, let him have held the belt for a little while. He's been defending it, retaining it. He doesn't have anything else. You know, he's claiming that he's the man. He's starting to get a little arrogant, saying he can beat anybody. He can beat anybody, alive or dead. And then you hear a dong, and then you hear the dead man. And then this will be one of his last matches he has. He'll say he's done one thing he's never done in his career. He's never been the Intercontinental champion. He wants him to bring his best, so then we could get that Undertaker versus the Demon Finn Balor match. And then at that point, like I said, that would be one of those things I'd be kind of turned about. Would I put the Undertaker over, let him win the Intercontinental title on his way out?
You would do that.
No, or I wouldn't think so. I would let the Demon Finn Balor get a big win and go over. But then at that point, too, I think, how big a win is it beating the Undertaker now, since he doesn't have the streak and he's already lost twice now at WrestleMania?
And he's old.
So then he
But I still think.
And he wins.
And that white ass belt looked dumb as hell on him.
Don't
Yeah, but I still think that'd be a good nostalgia match. Like I said, the Demon versus the Undertaker, they could build up a good little feud going into the match, and then let the Demon Finn Balor retain the title that way. But I think it would have to take more than one coup de grace. He'd have to at least hit 2 or 3 to put the dead man down for good.
Coup de grace, he sits up. That'd be some shit.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And then number 5, I would do something interesting. Since we talked about this before, I think I brought this up somewhere, but since the NXT UK champion, the title is considered a WWE UK title, I would have put it on WrestleMania. I would have put Pete Dunne defending against Walter. I would have left that match same, but I'd put it on WrestleMania. Let 80,000 fans, how many fans are going to be there to witness that brutal match that's going to be? And I'd still leave Walter to winning the championship. Let Walter win that title, let it be a brutal slugfest, and that's what I would do there. Because technically it's still classified as a WWE UK title, and I brought this up before. So it's classified as a WWE title, why hasn't he been on Raw or SmackDown, technically? Because if it's a WWE title, he should be able to go to Raw or SmackDown. He should be able to go anywhere, technically.
I think he was on Raw once.
One time it was against Enzo.
Yeah.
But they were in England.
Yeah.
They were in Birmingham.
So, all right, what's next?
So then I would go with Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. I'll leave that same for the WWE Championship. But I would let the New Day come out there, and he has Rowan with him. And then that'll be a competitive match. They go back and forth. They start getting interference. New Day comes out, and New Day's there. They attack Rowan. He's eliminated from the match. They're thinking Kofi's got the match in hand, and you hear the music play, and out comes Luke Harper. You have him come down there, reunite with Rowan as the Bludgeon Brothers, come out there, take out the New Day, and while the distraction's going on, I let Daniel Bryan lock in the LaBelle lock and let him tap Kofi Kingston out in the middle of the ring.
Wow.
I let the heel win on that one.
Man, everybody's booking Kofi to lose. All right, what's next?
Okay. So then after we get that match, we're going to go with the Universal title match, but I was going to do it a little different. I think I would rather do Seth Rollins as the champion defending against Drew McIntyre. I think that would be a match I would like to see, but let's have some kind of stipulation to it, whether it's a Fall Count Anywhere match or a Last Man Standing match. I would rather actually see them in a Last Man Standing match. Let them beat the shit out of each other, tear it down. Let Drew finally get the big win there, hit him with a couple of Claymores, get him out for the 10 count, and become the new Universal Champion.
All right. What's next?
And then the main event, how I do it, I would do the women's title match. I'd have both the titles online, Raw and SmackDown women's title. But I would do something interesting. I would actually make it a Fatal 4-Way elimination. I would add Asuka into the match. And my logic for that is She beat Becky at the Royal Rumble, and that's like a bleep in history. Nobody has brought that up, that she beat Becky to retain the SmackDown Women's title. And then Becky ended up getting in there by chance because Lana had injured herself in the pre-show. That got her in the Royal Rumble for her to win. On top of that, Asuka wants revenge against Charlotte's too, because now we keep in the storyline what's been going on. Charlotte has won the SmackDown title, so now Asuka feels robbed. So somehow, in next week before WrestleMania or something, she does something. She gets something. They have it since there's no SmackDown women's title match now until the main event. They have a little battle royal there that whoever wins battle royal gets added to the match. Let Asuka win. That's the way she gets in there. She has a reason to be there. She just lost her SmackDown Women's title. This would be her way to get her rematch. Also, she has beaten Becky before at the Royal Rumble. And then on top of that, she also, remember when Ronda Rousey first debuted and went to shake her hand, Asuka smacked her hand. They could bring up that history as well, because Asuka's never faced before. Make it a fatal 4-way elimination match. But then what I would do is I would have Asuka put on a good showing, but have her eliminated first. So that way we go into it. We have all three of them. And then what I would actually do next would be I would have Ronda Rousey get eliminated second. Okay, what I'd do is I'd have Charlotte put her in the figure 8. While she's putting her in the figure 8, I end up somehow Becky gets somewhat of a modified version of her finisher on her, and then she gets Ronda Rousey out of match. She taps out immediately. So leave it to this feud that's been going on forever now, Charlotte versus Becky. Let Becky finally get Charlotte behind her, get her to tap out, and then she's holding both Raw and SmackDown women's titles. And that's how I would end the show, that way.
Okay.
And that way, at least in that theory, it'd be about 3.5, 4-hour show, because I believe them going longer and longer. Back years ago, it was like WrestleMania was like a privilege. You worked your ass off to earn the right to get on that show. It was like Super Bowl. Now there's like, hey, every Joe Schmuckatelli, get on the show. Here you go.
Yeah.
Everybody on the card. Still, it sounds like a much better Mania than we're getting next Sunday.
But they still put everybody on the card, though, because they would have, like a dog match battle royal, or they had like a lumberjack match where everybody would come out still.
Hey, I miss a lumberjack.
But they didn't have quite such a large roster back then, so.
No, not at all. They had like a third of it.
Yeah.
If that. Okay, Owen, so break down this card, get rid of some matches, change some matches. What would you do? How would you fantasy book WrestleMania 35?
So I'm taking out 5 matches?
Well, you end with 10 matches total. So you can take out, combine, whatever, just get it down to 10 matches, and which 2 are on the pre-show?
Alright, so I'm getting rid of both the Battle Royals just because I don't really think they're really anything special. The Andre hasn't been anything in years, and the women's one was butchered last year. We won't even talk about that, so. And then I'm getting rid of Triple H versus Batista, because there's really no reason for Triple H to be back. And, I like seeing Batista back, but seeing his delivery in this program, we could have easily done without him. So, and then I'm getting rid of Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. I think everyone's going to get rid of that match. I don't think one person's keeping that match in there. And then I'm going to get rid of, as much, as I, think this will be an awesome match and everything, but there's really been no build to it, and it's been so last minute, I'm going to get rid of the U.S. title match as well. And then, as for my code, my opening match will be a U.S. Championship. Well, I'm going to do the kickoff matches first. Forgot about that. My kickoff matches would be Oney Lorcan versus Danny Burch would be one of them. No, I'm sorry, not Oney Lorcan versus Oney Lorcan versus Cedric Alexander, since they just did like a program on 205 Live. I would have that be a match on the kickoff. I think that would steal the show. And I would do, I gotta think of another match to go on the kickoff. I would do, I'll come back to the second match on the kickoff.
Okay.
And then as my opening match, I would do a ladder match for the U.S. title. I would have Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio versus Andrade versus Kevin Owens versus Ali versus I just had the third heel of technical versus Harper. I would bring Harper back, and he would be aligned with Daniel Bryan's group and everything. I think that would just be a show stealer U.S. title match where they would just go and really tear the house down. Then to kind of to kind of cool the crowd down, I would have probably Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley, but that's going to be my squash match on the show, where Finn Balor comes out as the demon and just obliterates Bobby Lashley. The storyline would be, that Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush would make fun of Finn Balor and talk about how the man can't beat him, so this would bring out the demon, and he would just beat him in like 2 minutes. And then I would have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. I'm actually a fan of this match. I think it's actually been a pretty good storyline match, and I really can't have Roman Reigns be a heel right now after what he just came back from, so I would keep that match.
I mean, they did turn Daniel Bryan heel, and it's meant all the difference.
Yeah, but the difference is Roman Reigns came back from cancer, though. Daniel Bryan came back from, not wrestling for a few months, so... and he's actually old.
It was a little more than that, but...
It's like a couple of years.
Have you ever heard about the idea that the phrase "there's a fine line between love and hate" is actually really true, chemically speaking, in your brain? And it is. When you look at something that you consider yourself to really hate, and when you look at something that you consider yourself to really love, in your brain the same areas light up. Whatever those scans that they do are, and it's CAT scans, CT scans, whatever. So technically, it's kind of like a switch. Like, it's the same amount of affection. It's just negative or positive.
Yeah.
And so when you take something like coming back from cancer and suddenly everybody is like super positive on you, when you flip it, you create a super heel. And you would have so many fans that were wishing for it when it was the old Roman Reigns that I think it would harmonize so beautifully into a great heel character. But I think the fact that your argument is the thing that will keep them from never doing it. I just think they really could do it, and it would be so beautiful. Just because you flip that switch and suddenly everybody's booing, not because they hate him. They're not booing like they did the night after he beat Undertaker. It's the same level of boos, but they're booing out of respect. It's kind of like when you boo Ciampa.
Yeah.
You're not booing him because you hate him. You're booing him because he's a heel character, and you're showing your respect because you love him so much.
I mean, it would make sense, too, because he could talk about, how all the fans, you guys didn't care about me until I was on my deathbed, but before that, I was out here busting my ass for you guys.
Getting booed.
It'd be hard to win up, but...
I think they could do it. Anyway, yeah. I'm sorry, I distracted you from your fantasy booking here. Let's keep going with WrestleMania.
And then I would do the Falls Count Anywhere match between Shane McMahon and The Miz. Just because, if it had been, before Fastlane and stuff, I probably would have had this match cut off the card. But seeing how, the stories kind of progress and stuff, I'm actually kind of warming up to that match. And, it would be, I think, a nice, fun match on the show because you can do a lot with that match because it's Falls Count Anywhere. And then I would do the Women's Tag Team title match, but I would take out, Beth Phoenix and Natalya and put in the Pirate Princesses. And then I would do AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. Have them just go, 20 minutes and have AJ Styles go over. And then I would do Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. And I have Tony Nese go over, just because, it's in his hometown and everything. It would be an awesome moment if Tony Nese won, and, a lot of people would be into this match because it's the cruiserweights doing cruiserweight thins. And then I would do the new Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. Actually, no, I wouldn't actually. The next match would be Seth versus Brock. And I would have, this is a tough. I would have Seth win, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Because the problem is the next like 3 matches follow each other, and you don't want to do like a feel good moment like 3 matches in a row. So I'm probably gonna have Brock Lesnar win, just because if you had to pick out of the 3 winning, I think people are gonna be pissed that Brock Lesnar wins, but they won't be as pissed with if Kofi doesn't win or if Becky doesn't win. So I think I think I would be forgiven, but and then I'm gonna do 8. I'm gonna do the new Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. I'm gonna have Kofi win. They could do the storyline where they drag it out. Me and my friends have talked about that, but they've screwed the guy over so much. If he doesn't win at Mania, then it was all of this was for naught. I think Kofi's got to win at Mania and hold up the title, especially too because they're doing the Saudi Arabia show next month, and we know Daniel Bryan's not going, and Kofi Kingston's been at both of them, so And then I'm gonna have the unification women's title match that's gonna merge both of the championships. I'm gonna have Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch in an elimination match. I'm gonna have Charlotte Flair get out first, and then I'm gonna have Becky versus Ronda because someone's gonna beat Ronda Rousey, and I'm gonna have finally Becky beat Ronda Rousey by tapping her out since Becky Lynch has the armbar and Becky and Ronda Rousey trashed it. Is that 10 matches or do I need one more?
You did a squash.
Yeah. So I gotta add. I gotta add one of the tag title matches on the show, and I forgot to add a kickoff match. So for the SmackDown tag team title match, I can't believe they didn't go this direction. Maybe they're going there. I want to see the Usos versus the Hardys. I think that would be an awesome tag team title match.
Definitely.
And I have the Usos win, kind of like the Hardys passing the torch to the Usos, and then I guess I got to put the Raw tag team title matches on the Raw tag team title.
I think that's 12 matches now, though. You got to take one of your main event matches and put it on the pre-show.
Oh yeah, true. Then I guess I got to put the SmackDown tag team title match on the kickoff, and I got to take a match off. I want to take off Shane McMahon versus The Miz if we're taking another match off.
Okay. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the women's battle royal for the women's tag team championships. Completely change the battle royal. Instead of 30 women, it'll be 15 teams. And I think between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK, they can put together 15 credible teams.
I like that. That's really awesome.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Awesome.
I was on the spot. I didn't have time to think for shit.
Well, Bailey and Sasha said that they'll take them all on. Well, how about they take all of them all on?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's same rules apply to any battle royal or tag team battle royal. If one member gets eliminated, they're both gone.
The other one's got to go. Yeah.
And so that eliminates the fatal 4-way.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to take, that's going to be my opening match on the pre-show. My second match on the pre-show is going to be the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but that is going to be for the U.S. title.
Okay.
So that gets rid of that match. Actually, no, that's not going to be for the U.S. title. It's going to be for #1 contendership.
Okay.
And then, so that's those are my pre-show matches. And then my first match of the show is going to be Joe coming out to defend the U.S. title against Braun Strowman. So you get a really good match because Braun Strowman's just been through a 30-man battle royal. And it's believable that now Joe can work him over for 10 or 15 minutes. But eventually Braun Strowman finally wins his first title. It's the U.S. title. And we can finally get rid of that goofy, tiny little plate design. And they can do something bigger. that will actually fit Braun Strowman
Right?
and not look like a child-sized belt.
On a grown-ass man.
So,
my kids.
so Braun wins the U.S. title, and I like who was it? Whose idea was putting Rey Mysterio instead of Tony Nese?
That was mine.
That was Chris's. Well, who's winning the women's battle royal? You didn't say that.
So that's 4 matches. So yeah, I'm gonna have Buddy Murphy versus Rey Mysterio next, and then instead of Angle Corbin, it's gonna be Angle versus John Cena. Let's say tomorrow night on Raw or Monday night on Raw, Baron Corbin comes out and somehow they just go ahead and have that match there. And then, well, now who am I going to face at Mania? And then John Cena comes out and boom, there you go. I'm getting rid of Miz versus Shane. Instead, it's going to be a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. It's going to be Lashley defending against The Miz and Shane McMahon. And then several of the, like, Drew McIntyre, put him in there. So I'm going to get rid of that match. Who else would I put in there? You got to put Shelton Benjamin in there.
Because it's a ladder match.
You gotta put Ali in there.
I do not. I don't have to put Ali in there. I would put Andrade in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. So the 6 is perfect for a ladder match. So how many matches is that? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think
5.
it's 5.
Okay, I'm gonna do the Usos versus the Revival to unite the tag team championships. So that's 6.
Yep.
And then I'm going to do something unprecedented here. Instead of getting rid of Triple H and Batista and Styles and Orton, I'm going to make it a fatal 4-way match. First to a pinfall wins.
Why a 4-way?
Well, I believe there's plenty enough reason to put Orton in this, but if you're going to put Orton in this, I feel like you can work Styles into it. I think Styles is one of those people that should have been in that mix with those guys back then if he had been in WWE instead of TNA.
Well, I'm trying to remember, like, didn't Ric Flair and AJ kind of intertwine at some point in TNA?
Yeah, they did. AJ was trying to be like the...
Was it Fortune?
Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So I think you can work Styles in there, and I would put Styles over Batista and give them a feud to work, like put Batista over on SmackDown and let him and Styles work a feud for a few months. So that's what, 7 matches?
Well, I think Batista's last.
Yeah, that's number 7. That was number 7.
So I'm keeping Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston wins. We get that feel-good moment. I'm going to add Roman Reigns to Lesnar versus Rollins. And we're going to have Rollins get the pinfall, but before they can get the 3, Reigns breaks it up, and he ends up taking out Rollins, and Reigns pins Rollins. And this protects Brock Lesnar from taking a pinfall, but he still loses the title. This gets Reigns back for when he pinned, this gets Rollins back for when he pinned Reigns at 31.
WrestleMania.
And this is where you turn Roman Reigns heel.
Okay. I'm actually in favor of that because doing the triple threat's a mistake if Reigns is going to take a babyface, so I like it.
Okay, and so...
What's number 10?
No, we're at 9.
No, I say, and what's number 10?
Oh, so this is going to be 10 and 11, actually, and I'll explain. Charlotte is going to get an ultimatum on Raw. She can either defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against both Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey in the triple threat match, or she can defend it against someone that gets determined in the match that we were supposed to have.
Okay.
Instead of the women's championship match on this past week's SmackDown. And she ends up bowing out of the main event and defending the title against... I don't even really care, because that's going to be the squash match. She's going to beat him in less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
That way, at the end of Mania, you've got Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Bayley and Sasha as champions. So you have the entirety of the 4 horsewomen as the champions. And so my main event is going to be Rousey versus Lynch 1-on-1, where Becky wins the title. And then Charlotte is going to have my number 11 squash match, where she successfully defends the title very quickly against, let's say, Sonya Deville, or somebody that maybe deserves, or they add Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
There you go. They add Lacey Evans to the women's number 1 contendership match, and Asuka, so it makes it a 6-pack challenge. And Lacey, make it another fucking gauntlet match where Lacey Evans is the last one in, and she happens to win over Asuka, who's gone from the first to the last. Something like that. That doesn't bury Asuka. But yeah, definitely. That would be where I'd go. I'd just get Charlotte out of the main event altogether.
Yeah, she doesn't need it.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be in it.
She just got that record, you know, or what is it, 8-time champion now. She broke Trish's record. She doesn't need everything.
And now she doesn't fit because Ronda's a heel now, so...
And you don't have to unify the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. Because I believe those 2 titles probably should remain separate.
Okay.
Alright.
So I think Stefan had the best card, but he had the most time to think of it than we did, so...
Yeah, I gotta admit, I was putting together a lot of this card off of the back of some of your guys' ideas. Especially the Andre the Giant Battle Royal being a title match.
Yeah.
But instead of title, like I said, make it number 1 contendership, and then have Joe defend against a really battered up Braun Strowman. And then that could actually be a really good match instead of, you know, how do we get Braun Strowman taken out at the beginning of this match for a really good match? Well, you just have him go through a 25-minute battle royal.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, dude, that was a stroke of genius, the Styles and Ortons versus Triple H and Batista in a Fatal 4-Way. That just came to me. I was just like, I don't really want to get rid of these matches. I see the point in them, but do they really have to be separate?
And that way, too, you can build the matches on both brands. Batista and Triple H part of it on Raw, and the Orton Styles part of it on SmackDown, and you know, have them intertwined where Orton invades Raw and attacks Triple H because it would, you know, because he's the face and that part of it. So you do some creative stuff because people are already kind of going between brand to brand right now, anyway. So
I think that success. I think all 4 of our ideas are still better than what we're getting Sunday or next Sunday.
Oh, for sure.
But
yeah, my idea would be better if I had more time to think of something. So.
Well, unless Vito or Vigo, the Carpathian, has any ideas.
What you got for us, buddy? Lay it on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, he's not much for speaking. All right.
Hey, that idea that he just gave is better than WWE's idea.
Half of the card. He could book half the card better than they could.
Yeah.
So let's do plugs. Let's start with Chris. Where can we find you?
You can follow me on Facebook at Chris Gregor May. Support AfterMatch Wrestling. Support the Simple Man Noah Foster. Support NoDQ.com. And pretty much that's all I gotta say there.
All right. How about you, Owen?
Alright, so you can subscribe to my 3 YouTube channels. First being CM Brothers. Me and my cousin AJ are going to be starting up Death Note again very soon, so we're very excited about that. And we're going to be doing our NXT TakeOver New York and WrestleMania predictions, where he tries to predict the show, who's never watched a thin of wrestling in his life. So he's lost to me every time, but that's not really much of a victory because he doesn't know anything. So, and then on the Talkinator, we just finished, Breaking Bad. I think we finished it Friday, and we're going to be doing some fun videos on there. We're going to be reviewing an episode of Family Guy, SpongeBob, and we're going to do a couple movie reviews, so we got some exciting stuff coming on there. Wrestling Fortune 44, where I'll be doing my show, The Wrestling Rundown. Hopefully Noah Foster can join, but if he can't, then, that sucks. And, I have some other videos planned with me, Colin, Chris, and James Hebert, or James the Archangel. I'm going to be doing our predictions for NXT TakeOver New York. And Stefan, are we doing Mania too, or is it just TakeOver we're doing?
If you want to do a video for Mania, or if you want to do it all in the same video, however you want to do it, you can do Mania as well. We'll keep track of it for the NXT team, just not for Team No DQ.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if we were doing Mania too.
We can do Mania, because we're going to have to do predictions for Team No DQ anyway, so we might as well pit us up against you guys
Mania
too.
Then. I've got a busy week coming up because it's WrestleMania week. So,
yep.
Busy week for all of us when it comes to videos and stuff. So, keep on the lookout for all my stuff.
All right, where can we find you, Colin?
You can find me on Twitter or Facebook, or Twitter or Instagram. Sorry, at Colin26Andrew. Don't add me on Facebook.
Word.
Yeah, support AfterMatch Wrestling, support No DQ. Let's see. Support your local businesses, especially restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Support your mom and pop shops. That stuff's always supreme over anything else around. Check out Noah Foster's content.
NoDQ.com/Noah, N-O-A-H.
He's just a simple man and a lifetime fan of wrestling.
And 205 Live matters.
205 Live does indeed matter.
You can check out,
I don't watch
because our boy Jerry's not in the building, and check out his Facebook group, Armbar, all capitals, A-A-R.
No, A-R-M.
A-R-M-B-A-R,
exclamation point.
It's fun. It's a lot of memes, discussions, good times. You can find all of us in there. And Jerry, and I think we added our boy over here next to Stefan. I think he added in what is it, Vigo? Yeah, Vigo's on the page. He doesn't really say much or do much on the page, but he's there.
We can definitely add him.
Vigo now.
He's a moderator on it.
And moderator.
Vigo the moderator.
Sorry for the stumble through that.
It's okay.
Had a 10.5-hour day. It's 1:30 in the morning. I get to do it again tomorrow, so it's cool.
It's AfterMatch Wrestling. It's no big deal here.
Yeah, but no,
I don't even have the beard twisted up. It's all good.
It's help this channel AfterMatch get 100 subscribers. I think we're at 63,
65.
Right 65.
We're 2/3 of the way there. At 100, we're going to start doing What's NXT Live. But we're doing all this original content. This is going to go on AfterMatch only, so if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. Well, if you're seeing this, you're probably subscribed. So thank you guys for being on. And if you'd like to be on the big screen and help me and not Vigo, it will actually be the General Jerry Slaughter review an episode of NXT UK. Come have a spot of NXT with us. And we do the NXT parties on Friday mornings about 1 a.m. So if you watch the show and you have Skype, you should join us. Let us know down in the comments how we can get a hold of you, or if you want to find me on, Twitter, you can go to nodq.com/Stefan, that's Stefan, or if you just want to find me on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, Osborne. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find Gerald. It's not even Gerald, it's Jerry.
Gerald.
You can find Jerry on Twitter, it's at NoDQGeneral. And, of course, as Colin said, Armbar, all caps, ARMBAR, exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
No paper with the giant exclamation point.
Dude, I didn't have anything. I didn't come prepared. This was a last-minute video, so.
And as everybody said before, AfterMatch Wrestling, all one word, AfterMatch, AfterMatch Wrestling. If you like our video here, click the like button. If you like all of our videos, you should click the subscribe button that's down there. And you might as well click the bell button while you're at it. Go ahead, we'll wait. That's going to let you know when these crazy videos go up, because there's no set time here. What's NXT goes up on Thursday, and the NXT party goes up on Friday. Other than that, if you don't have the bell clicked, you're probably going to miss a video. And some of these are really fucking fun.
In the morning, yeah.
Yeah. By the time this goes up, it'll probably be 4 or 5 in the morning, maybe as early as 3. It depends on how long it processes. These are minute for minute, so it'll probably take like an hour to process and then 15 minutes to upload. But you'll get this tonight. I'm anxious to put this video up because I thought this was a great idea. Any other ideas for fantasy booking in the future, guys, that we can get together for?
Invasion angle.
Oh, brilliant. Love it.
Yeah.
Invasion from NXT.
There's fantasy booking the night the Raw and SmackDown after Mania.
We could do that next week.
Yeah.
Like what comes up, who's coming up, what stables are getting made, what's this, what's that, because I got some cool ideas I need to write down before I forget them.
Well, okay, so, and probably shouldn't be doing this on air, but fuck it. So Jerry and I have the board game party on Saturday night. However, those tend to wrap up before 11 or 12 o'clock. So if we could do this same time, same place, 1 week from now, we can fantasy book Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for after Mania.
Well, the issue with that is Hall of Fame's on the same night and G1 Supercard and stuff. So I don't know how many people are going to be. I don't know how long the Hall of Fame's going, and I don't know.
We're not even watching the Hall of Fame, honestly. We're just doing it
I
tonight.
don't know either.
It'll all be on demand, so I'm going to watch it later.
Yeah.
I'm as far as I know, I'm good with it.
Cool.
I'm good with it too.
All right, so maybe you guys can look forward to fantasy booking of Raw and SmackDown after Mania next week. Other than that, let's see if I get all these right. Again, terrible with names. The Holiday, Chris Mace. For the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. For the Birdman of Boston, Owen Finch. I am the Wizard of No DQ. You know that because it says so on the shirt. Says it on the shirt. Yeah, it's time to end the video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right, have a good night, y'all.